Alright, so Bant Amulet. We've played some Amulet decks in the past on stream, mostly Esper Amulet, that has a similar game plan to this, and the Esper deck tries to win with one copy of Chromium eventually, and has copies of Memorial to Folly to get it back. So this build is choosing to clean the game up with a single copy of March of the Multitudes once you've won, which, while the March win condition is kind of whatever, the thing I would like to highlight most out of this build is that gaining access to green card gives us this really great sideboard plan against the control decks, right? Like, Carnage Tyrant and these copies of Frilled Mystic are a great plan for pivoting post-board. So I think the March plan is maybe a little bit worse win condition game 1 than Chromium would be, but March also has the upside of being a utility useful card when you're not ready to combo, right? Like, you can just March for 2 to 3 and, like, fog a combat step or gain some life or pressure a planeswalker depending on what you're doing. And then we have Carnage Tyrant and Frilled Mystic out of the sideboard. So it seems like an interesting direction to take Amulet in. So we're gonna go ahead and dive on in. We're starting at plat 3, 2 notches. So let's see where we end after an hour or soon. I don't know what that's in reference to. Is that to the Mueller investigation? Is that what that would be in reference to? This seems fine. This deck, the Amulet decks have a pretty wide range of keepable hands, just because you are just looking for, like, blue mana plus some of your cantrips to find other things. Is 5 green source and card selection enough to cast Carnage Tyrant / Counter Snake? Not early, but eventually, right? Like, the control matchups, you don't need to play your cards right away. You just need to, like, play them somewhere down the line. So I think in the matches where you're boarding those cards in, you're going to have time to get to them, basically. If you want to submit a build around, does that go through the normal submission guidelines? You just don't leave the link blank, Corel. Yeah, goes through the normal form. Just leave the link blank. Good question. Yikes. We're probably dead here. I guess if I had a white source, I could settle the wreckage next turn. Where are my lands? Where are my lands?
Proud to have come so far. Strength is born of struggle. I don't think it really matters. We're taking 8, 9, 10, we're taking like 12 here. And they're probably going to have a counter spell for my Settle the Wreckage next turn. Come on. Come on. Oh. You are capable of more than you assume.
So they have like 6 mana right now because the Incubation Druid makes 3. Thanks, Mikey. Yeah, just send it through. If they're a deck with counter spells, we're probably just dead. Yeah, the Primal Amulet does flip into an any color land. Come on, land. Land! I don't know exactly what they're doing. Cleansing Nova's probably fine. I probably don't mind bringing in Lyra too, honestly. Let's give this a try. Yeah, I had Settle, but like, if they make it all reasonable attacks, like, we're just not getting out of it. I need to like hit land while also doing there. Like the Settle's a temporary solution to a permanent problem. I wasn't dead that turn, but we weren't winning that game. Maybe I should have played just to like find out if there's counterspells in their deck. Are 23 lands too few? No. You drew a bunch of extra cards. Like, you see, and again, like, you need to understand, like, one, variance happens regardless of how many things you play, and like, two, when your land count, when your cantrip count is high, your cards that draw more cards, you can play less lands and still hit your lands consistently. You can find the deck queue at bit.ly/deck queue, or just head on over to my website, jeffoakland.com. Hey, Lab Rat, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This hand's great. So the green's a very small splash for your eventual win condition. I get that this is a game where we're going to have it, but there aren't that many green lands actually in our deck here. What's going on, Calhones? I appreciate the 12 months. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Ignite thee, Defender of the Realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. How many games have we played with this deck? This is game number 2. Match 1, game 2. We're currently down a game. It was about the criticism. From my understanding of our conversation, it was about the criticism of the product. It had nothing to do with me being political on stream. The specific thing that they mentioned what had to do with being critical of their product. If it was simply about me talking about left-leaning views on stream, I'd have mentioned that. So I do need to keep track of how many marches I've been, because I do have a finite number of those. Streaming is like the NBA, it's a star-driven league. In the end, it's more harmful for WotC to alienate you than the other way around. Yeah. I mean, like we're here now. We're here now without Wizards of the Coast, right? Yeah, I agree, Dash of Salt. They don't want to take the good with the bad. 5 mana angels. Oh, 5 mana. Is there a worse feeling in Standard right now than like tapping out for your 4 or 5 mana angel? Your opponent's just like, yo, dog, here's my Vivian. It's like, Alright. Feels bad, man. Well, I mean, to be fair, Mr. Photon, if they pull in influencers from other games, it's impossible for those influencers to have been critical of them, right? Because they don't care about Magic. The reason why I'm critical of Magic is because I care about the game, right? I care about the product. Random Hearthstone player X that's showing up for a paycheck, like they don't care about Magic. They're just like there to cash the check and hopefully bring some viewers along with them. And for the record, I think inviting people who have large audiences from other games to things like that is good for Magic. That is a smart decision, and like spending money advertising on Twitch is one of the best things WotC's done in a long time. Amaz is not who I'm talking about. I always like, whenever a Magic player's like, gosh, why'd they invite Amaz? He's a Hearthstone player. I want to be like, how many Grand Prix have you top 8'd? Because I'd bet dollars to donuts every Magic player who's complained about Amaz being invited has less Grand Prix top 8s than Amaz. Amaz is a Magic player too. Amaz plays lots of games. He's qualified. He has gotten special invites to the Pro Tour, but he's also qualified entirely on his own. Correct, yes. He's not... Like, they only invited one Hearthstone player to the Invitational thing. Like, Fizz is the only one that I would classify as, like, this is a Hearthstone player first, right? And then, and again, he is the biggest Hearthstone streamer right now, and it is smart and makes sense to invite him. That is money well spent and a good invitation. Games like Magic, because there's so much variance in it, is the only place where you will find people who you'll go, no, that player's really good. Haven't you seen the results and seen them play? They're very reasonable. I'll be like, nah, they're just lucky. They're not actually good at Magic. Just like, and I'm like, at what point do you accept somebody's good, right? How many Grand Prix top 8s do they need? How many times do you need a top 8 qualify for the Pro Tour, right? Like, no, they're still not good. Stop it. Stop trying to put other people down because you don't like them. You can say you don't like them. That's fine. That's subjective. But like saying they're not actually good at Magic after they have a bunch of results, get out of here. Get out of here. Once is lucky, twice is good. I mean, is that even true? What do you think about the Saproling Swarm deck? I don't know what that is. I don't know what a Saproling Swarm deck is. Double search here is a little bit awkward, but we've got Installation in case they're like a Mortify deck. Here's the thing. Everyone that top 8s every Magic event got lucky to do so. Just like look at what the win rate of the best Magic players is, right? The best Magic players have a 70% win rate. Figure out you have to have a match rate better than 70% to like top 8 any event, right? Yay, back up Azcanta. Woo, back up Azcanta. Alright, got a precog, sounds good. Except Matt Nass, that's true. That's true. KCI was just real messed up, right? Wow. Wow, the tap out for the Chemist's Insight, we get to super punish here. Right, you got to resolve Chemist's Insight. How about I resolve this one? Alright, one more card flips the Search for Azcanta, which is great. And if I flip the Search for Azcanta this turn, I can actually cast Nexus at the end of their turn, which can give me 2 turns in a row, which is nice. So unless this card's really good, we're binning it so we can flip the Search. They have a Mortify. No, I don't want a Radical Idea in my upkeep because I want to end step cast Nexus of Fate on their turn. So that way I can try. It's that way I either get a counterspell out of their hand or get 2 turns in a row. So long as they don't have Syncopate, we'll be pretty okay with what happens here. If they Syncopate me, I'm going to be sad, but... Gross. The menacing music on the adaptive scry card draw is great. Hey, what's going on, Ghost Stalker? Thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Okie doke. Okie doke. Maybe some of these will resolve. Thanks for being here supporting my brand, Ghost Stalker. Thanks for keeping me around. So there's only 2 copies of Nexus in my main deck here. The fact that I have this Search for Azcanta down could mean... just run them as is the whole time. No, I make changes as we go. Usually if I have an idea to make something better. Usually I play at least the first match card for card, but I usually make changes if there's an obvious thing that needs to be done. I'm gonna cast this digging for a land. So I think my plan here is to hit a land drop next turn and then pass to my opponent and then end step Giant March. They'll either counter or resolve. If they counter it, we'll jam Primal Amulet the following turn. And if they let it resolve, we'll just pressure them with the tokens. Now, I don't think anything's really popular enough to, like, play one deck based on just, like, one matchup. So I have 5, 10 mana total. So that's 7, X to 7 here. It's like 7 kills them in 2 turns, so it's, like, pretty good. I've been so upset by the outrage regarding your WhatsApp phone call that I forgot to set up whatever that I forgot to be upset about. Oh gosh, if you scroll back through the political dark place on Discord, there's a good ticker in there of like us posting the fact checker links from the conversation last night. Oh. I was not prepared for that to resolve. Yep, we have Discord 4 subscribers. That's good. It's my second amulet. Details on the subs Discord is here. I would love to transform. So the goal here at this point is to thin my deck down to the point where it's just like Nexus of Fate. I'm going to put a stop during my upkeep so that way I can upkeep double Nexus and shuffle it back in.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, sub Discord is great. It's more than just me in there. A lot of good ideas. You can post decks to get feedback from myself if you tag me on occasion, or other folks as well that understand Hooklandia. Who needs Reddit when you have Discord? Yep. It's been a good tool. If you're someone like me who feels like you need to get off Reddit, it's a good place to dump some time alternatively. I think Anticipate has some instant speed value. I have a modern question for you. I'll be playing an IQ on Saturday. How do you feel blue-white stacks up in the current meta? I personally am a fan of Jeskai as opposed to blue-white, but they're both fine. Playing a bunch of Terminus is great. Alright, so I'm going to come to my turn. I'm going to go ahead and make a mana with this. Let's go ahead and double up this Nexus of Fate. They could syncopate me off this, right? They have X's 6. Maybe I'm supposed to go to my main phase and play the Sunpetal Grove so they can't syncopate me off of this. Rip. Mistakes were made, chat. Alright, let's try and find another amulet here. So I've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mana, so I'm going to do X's 11 here. That was our last X's in the main deck. So I just have to hope, like, these 2 copies of March are good enough. This is 5, 10, 5, 10, 14, so X is 11. Yeah, they have sorcery speed. This is game 1 Burgle, so they definitely have 4 Kaya's Wrath in their deck right now. I waited on March because they have Kaya's Wrath in their deck, probably a 4 of. I am so incredibly disappointed that only happened 3 times and I didn't get 22 individual dinks. Does anybody else feel cheated out of dinks there? Is anybody else in chat incredibly upset right now that we were cheated out of the dinks that are owed to us? I feel kind of robbed. Where were the dinks, Watsy? Where were they? I find it soothing for the dink, 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 dink as they all just go down the line. It's like, where are they? Nobody knows. We deserve more boop. Bippity boppity boop. This is why we don't get sponsored, because we care too much about the dinks. Need one more cut here. Robbed of my video game features. I thought this was a real game. Sure. Opt on the draw. Let's do it. A business wouldn't use the word dink. Good call. No, I like the radical ideas because they help me flip my amulets, which is nice. Oh, we're gonna get caught with our hand in the cookie jar. Oh no. I know you don't live the dink lifestyle, but my fiance to her. That's fine. It's fine. We can never beat Thief of Sanity anyways. It's cool.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna put in 2 Ixalan's bindings over 2 Front Mistakes. I mean, Wannabe Beetle, I'm happy to hear you don't plan to have children, because that means the flow of bits that comes attached to your messages will probably remain there. As someone who has children, if you were planning to have kids, I'd assume the bits that come with your messages would have to slow down. Children are certainly wonderful. They are not, however, inexpensive. Adopt me and my children. It's more. Okay. So, you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. No kids here. More bits for Jeff. Thank you, J-Rock. I'm like, them mortifying this, especially with double Ixalan's binding in our hand, like, really isn't the worst thing in the world, right? Just like, they only have a limited number of mortifies. So getting that going rather than like unlocking a Thief of Sanity seems like really good for me. Yep, just like that. Alright, land please. Hey Nib, thanks for the tree fitty, I appreciate it. Whoop. Yoink. Global overpopulation might actually become a crisis in my lifetime, so I'm doing my part by hating kids and giving money to Hoagland. God bless.
No time for a break.
Land!
What? I'm not done yet.
Time for another snack, chat. Ah, you beat me to it, Penguin. Yikes. Does Hooglandia have universal healthcare? No, I can't afford that for everybody, unfortunately. Drawing this here is good because now I get to Discovery. And then this will flip over and I can double up Opt, which is nice. Hopefully it's some land drops here. We might actually use this as our second green source for this Carnage Tyrant. I actually wouldn't mind hitting a land here so I can eventually get to these double Nexus of Fates. I'm going to keep both of these here, actually. Go ahead and pass back. What if we get Mortified at a turn? Precog, sure.
We need to move quickly.
Kazrak, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
How did I get started streaming? You just do it. You gotta... If Neo came out with a crappy tasting bar, would you say don't buy this bar? Yeah. I turn down sponsor money all the time. Like, I don't take offers from everybody who gives me money. Sometimes people send me products that I ask for a product sample on, and I go, yeah, this isn't good. I'm not promoting this. As like, Cedric Phillips on Twitter tried to compare me talking to Watsy yesterday as a job interview, and I was like, it wasn't a job interview. It was me talking to a sponsor who, when I talked to the sponsor, I didn't like what they had to hear. I said, okay, I'm not going to take the sponsorship, right? Like, perfect. The land here is great because it means I can cast double Nexus of Fate. Sure, but this is one they knew about. So, like, if they knew the sponsorship potential was there, like if I said, actually, that's not true, Derelic. The standing desk company's the same thing, right? Like, I talked to a couple of standing desk companies, and they jerked me around, and then they didn't end up happening, and I shared that they jerked me around. And that's why the sponsorship didn't happen. Like, it's actually literally the same as other sponsorships. Not every sponsorship happens like that, but this wasn't unique. I've worked with other sponsors before in the past that ended up going, no, this isn't going to work out. Happy to be here, Monkey Mikey. Magoogles, thanks for the 3-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Do you have a second counterspell here? All right, sweet. So the next 2 turns are mine now. And, like, again, you don't need to get into other people you like or dislike. That's great. Like, you don't have to like everybody. You don't have to dislike anybody, but don't feel the need to let me know. Top taking more Nexi is good. I actually have... So the next turn is mine. I'm taking another turn here. We got another counterspell out of their hand. Oh, we actually didn't get another turn here. Yikes. Wait, did I? What happened? I'm confused. Oh, I had an extra turn because one resolved at the end of their turn. You're right, I did have another turn. You're super right. Alright, so I just play another Primal Amulet here. I did, that was my original turn, and then I had an extra turn. You're super right. From the end of turn Nexus. Right, that's why I end of turn Nexus so I could have 2 in a row. Garbo Snake Cape, thank you for the 4 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. All right, so where are we at? Where are we at? Bant Amulet, where are you? Bant Control, Bant Amulet. Ugh. All right, so looking at this board, I think I want a couple Baffling Ends in here. Because I need a way, I want a way to take Thief of Sanity off the table. I agree. Frilled Mystic also seems mediocre. Let's give this a try. Just like, the main deck seems okay. Let's just like tune the sideboard here a little bit. Is Shimmer better than Anticipate? I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe the extra card is better. I'm not splashing a double red card. Splashing a double red card kind of changes the fundamental of what the deck is doing.
Sounds fine. Herbert Holtz is some old guard PT player from a decade and a half ago. Never interacted with him in person. I had him muted on Twitter though, so I assume if I had him muted on Twitter, he tweeted something obnoxious at me at some point. When other community figures tweet obnoxious things at me, I often just mute them rather than blocking them. Are you playing a control deck or are you playing Sultai mid-range with a bad start? The fact that they have basic island in their deck kind of implies to me they're maybe playing a Sultai control deck. They could also be playing like the Sultai Nexus deck we played a little bit of. So I wouldn't be too surprised to get sabotaged here. Syncopated, sure. Yeah, they could be a Lich deck. Hold on to this Cleansing Nova just in case. You think I have a chance at Mythic top 8? No, 0%. I would have to fundamentally change how I play Magic on this channel to have a chance at Mythic top 8. And the chances of hitting it even then are low enough that it's like not worth losing money by making my content worse to have a chance at that. The people who make, so assume the amount of Magic I play on stream here, I don't consider an unhealthy amount of Magic. I think the people that qualified for that tournament are going to have to play an unhealthy amount of Magic to do so. And then quantify how much I play, and then know that it's going to be more than that to classify as unhealthy. For me to classify it as unhealthy. And we don't know for sure that they're a Lich deck, right? Yeah, a big part of why people support my content here is because not only the viewer-driven content, but the variety the viewer-driven content brings, right? It's already ditched one March. I think there's a good chance that people that do make the Mythic top 8 it's going to involve account sharing. I can't imagine they're going to have any kind of good system set up to like prove account sharing. Like, how do you prove that 3 people are playing 20 hours a day versus just like 2 people or like 1 person just like doing nothing but playing Magic Arena? No, I mean multiple people playing on the same arena account to get that account into the top 8 slot. So like, you're just playing 20 hours a day. That's something a little VPN can't fix, Gabriel, if you're smart about it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just clear their enchantments here, because I don't think they're a Lich deck. This is basically like triple stone raining them, right?
So I'm going to make sure I hold at least one land in my hands. That way if I hit a radical idea, I can jumpstart it. I think we're 1-1. 1-1 sounds right. Triple Stone Raid talk dirty to me. I agree, Socio Penguin. I think the only reason they're doing top 8 right now is because that's all their technology allows for. If technology allowed for it to do it better, I think they probably know it's unhealthy, but it's just like the best option they have. I really wish I would have shocked that land in the turn they thought erased me, so I could have made one more tokens. I love that the mods are getting faster. The mods beat me to so many timeouts these days. It keeps pausing. I wonder if they have a counterspell. Hey, Shadow Falls. Thanks for 7-month resub. I appreciate it. Welcome back. It could be removal spells, yep. They'd already play 2 counterspells and a discard spell. Where are my cantrips at, chat? Hey, what's going on? Hanging with Mr. C. Hey, appreciate the 3 months. Welcome back. You know, it's funny. The smart money is probably on the players who get the top 8 slots to win the Mythic Invitational, because just by virtue of having a top 8 slot, they will likely have played way more Magic than everybody else in the tournament. Oh, that's a good one. If they have a counterspell, this is it. I was gonna say, if they have a counterspell, this is the time to use it. It really is, Zach. Agreed. Right, there's only this is the last march in my deck. I'm casting this to put a counter on my amulet. This is 4, 8. So X is 8 on this is perfect because it means if they have a counter spell, I have 2 lethal marches on the stack. So they should be dead here. With any Rakdos mid-range decks. We played Jund Whirler the other day, and it was excellent. Like, one of the most powerful decks I've played in this format. I probably should put it up on the website, honestly. I'll probably do that this weekend. I don't think I'm going to have time to add decks to the website before this weekend. Got him. Got him. See? Ah, why does it only give us so few thunks? I need more thunks in my life, Watsy. I need the thunkening. Please, please give me the thunkening. That big meta thunk. Hey, Gargantuan. What's pink on top? It has a great sense of humor. I don't know about the pink part, but definitely not chat. Thanks for the 6 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. What are my thoughts on Gruul in this format? The best Gruul decks I've played have been kind of mid-rangey with a lot of flying threats, like Phoenixes and Dragons. You can find my preferred Gruul Rhythm or mid-range deck, or Monsters deck, whatever you want to call it, on my website. Sure. Our hand is gas. Let's just hit some lands, chat. Hey, regular size Jesse. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Let's bump Rakdos aggro. Sounds good. I believe that should push it into tomorrow. I'm planning to run long every day this week, by the way. So I'm planning to do 2 more decks today, and then planning to do like 8 to 10 hours every day. 10 to 12, everybody, till we fall asleep. Mr. Mimost. Thank you for the 8-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Ravager Worm is awesome. You're not wrong. I have a Teamer Klein deck that I've really liked with Ravager Worm in it. Let's no sir that one. It's very scary with Search for Azcanta being online soon. This is fine. So, Magic Arena is giving away a little bit of information here. Because it paused there, I know they have an expansion explosion. So, Arena auto holds priority when there's an expansion explosion in your hand, which is a good feature, but if you don't click through it quickly, it gives away that you have it to your opponent. I think their deck is more Grixis green than Moist Jund to be an actually kind of guy for a moment. Because like Jund to me says like a mid-range deck, whereas they're really more of a control deck, right? Rats. I was hoping they just had expansion on Negate as well. I think it's right to jam that there. Because like they don't have 3 mana counters up, so definitely seems reasonable. So long, Nexus of Fate, my old friend. Do 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 do. What are we doing here? Opt to start, looking for an amulet. Excellent. Excellent! Yeah, I responded to Hunt on Twitter, Yurdelin. These other content creators keep coming at me with like, you shouldn't have said anything about what happened. And it's just like, people knew that my phone call with Watsu was happening, right? So like, if I just don't say anything, the questions would be endless, right? Like, the questions would be like, well, what happened? Well, what happened? Well, what happened? Alright, let's play this and just cycle the Nexus here. Try and flip the Amulet this turn. So, these are cards that are in my discard pile. They have the Jumpstart mechanic, which lets me play them from my discard. Yeah, I agree. It is much better. In my opinion, it's much better to say what happened than let the internet make up rumors. Completely concur. The auto tap didn't matter. I didn't have any cards in my hand to jumpstart the radical ideas with.
I mean, everything on my Twitter, it's all up on my Twitter, Porn said. You can find all the relevant stuff there. Yeah, a lot of people act like it's the super, and I think that comes from, like, the culture of, like, people, like, you know, people are like, don't talk about how much money you make, right? Like, that culture, and it's just, like, people, I feel like people understand that this is my job, right? And I like my job. I'm one of the people in the world who's fortunate enough to, like, make a living doing something I really enjoy, but, like, this is my job. So, like, I'm not gonna, like, tell people, like, I don't make money doing this, because I don't. This is, like, you know, this is how I pay my bills, how I pay for daycare for the kids, right? Like, if this didn't make money, I wouldn't be able to put the kids in daycare. Alright, well, let's combo this turn, because otherwise we probably aren't getting another turn. Please. How many cards are in my bin? Not enough? Oh, there's a bunch in there. That's good for me. Ixalan's Binding. Alright, well, actually, I'm going to start with this and see where we go. Oh, the places you'll go. I give your thoughts on Caleb getting an invite? Yeah, it's awesome. Caleb works really hard. He's one of the biggest Magic only streamers that exists for a reason. Yes, exactly. I completely agree, Magic Missile. Like I said. Completely agree. Very, very pro-corporate, anti-consumer, anti-employee. Now, I mean, if I like, Binding the Wilderness is, like, a kind of conservative play, but I think, like, I'm in a position where, like, on average, I'm going to combo off that turn. If we hit the 4,400 sub goal before the end of the month, I'm going to dye my beard pink along with my hair. We also get another emote slot on Twitch. No, at 4, I'm dyeing my hair. So my hair is getting dyed. Just my beard will go along with it if we hit the other goal. I assume this discovery isn't resolving. Wow, we are unfortunate. Good lord, that is unreal. Yikes. Yikes. God, there's so many non-cantrips on the bottom already. That's brutal. I cannot march for one because I can't make white, green. I can't make white, green at the moment. Maybe we don't die. If we don't die this turn and we get another turn, we, like, still have a pretty good shot. Zavvy Wise, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Think they have enough cards up there? Mobile when? They might kill us here. Not if you're a mod. The bot can't time out other mods.
Did they just use my Nexus of Fate? I've never been so tilted before. All right, next game. Next game. I think I'm happy with what I got. Let's run it back. Watch your league from last year when you were on Serum Putter or Eldrazi and the deck looked like a hoot. Would you say it seems reasonable in the current modern format? Actually, if there's a lot of Phoenix decks going around and like people playing Death Shadow, a Chalice deck's probably pretty good. The problem is like every time you show up to a modern tournament playing a metagame deck because Chalice is good, you just get like dumpstered by random garbage. Got Breeding Pool and Double Opt on the play. Thanks, Solomir. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good Wednesday wherever you're at. Six rounds of big red, right? Yep. Basically, the TLDR of being cute. Hey, what's going on, Stanley Polo? Thanks for keeping me around and enjoying Standard with us, too. This format's great. Oh, no. Audio bugs. Give it a quick restart here. You actually can't remove channels from your recommended list. It's really annoying. I'm sick of it too. I actually reported his channel and it still shows up in my thing. Which is impressive. I feel like if you like report someone on Twitch, they probably should definitely pull them out of your mentions. Do I still recommend the Lisa mattress? Yeah, actually, my code for Lisa is still valid. I just figured most people who had them by now would. Christy and I still sleep on that every night. One of the major things we brought with us from the old house. Arena runs great in wine. No reason to run a full-blown VM. If you don't know why I'm taking a crap on Todd Stevens, you should Google his name. If you're someone who's new to Magic and not familiar with what he's done to the Magic community, I'd encourage you to Google him, rather than getting the details mucked up on screen here. I mean, talking about him to a degree is important because there's a lot of people in the community that are new to the Magic community that just have no idea. Yeah, under stock wine, the auto updater doesn't work. I installed using Lutris recently, and it works fine via that, which is nice. It's actually not true. You know what my least favorite thing is when people misquote me? You always do this thing. Really? No, that's not. That's it. Or maybe I just have a different definition of what always means compared to most people. Just go ahead and pass here, right? And then hopefully on the back of this and precog, we can get going next turn. Well, I've had Lutris update accordingly for me the last 2 times I've done it, so. Hey, Mr. Nobody, thanks for the 2-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You work at Co-Weavers and want to support Waffle Soup. Y'all should push. It's funny, I actually DM'd them on Twitter. Y'all should push for them to officially support Magic Online as well. Magic Online works really well through Wine, and this and Arena would probably get people to buy your product for OSX. As someone who knows people that are close to the situation, Syzygy, 0% chance. They're about to cast my Nexus of Fate, aren't they? I think they're about to cast my Nexus of Fate. This is so brutal. There's 3 Nexus of 33 cards. Am I dead to Explosion? I think I'm dead to Explosion. Believe women. If you don't believe women, I would encourage you to do some research on how these things work and what the statistics are. And until then, you can get out of my chat. No, Gift of Paradise gives them red mana. Getting beat down by our own Nexus of Fate is brutal. Yep, good game, opponent. Have a good one, Nefarious. Alright, let's try one more. Whenever people talk about evidence in courts and situations like that, I feel like I lose a little bit of hope in humanity, because it fundamentally goes against the idea that, like, innocent people go to plead guilty for things they didn't do because it looks bad, and guilty people get away with things that they did because they didn't get caught or there wasn't evidence there. Happens all the time. My poor little Primal Amulet. I was gonna hold on. Here's the thing. I'm a human being, and I have opinions on things. And if you don't want to hear my opinions on things, you want me to just shut up and play, get out of here. Sorry, if me encouraging other people to be reasonable human beings and treat other people with respect and not support other people who don't treat other people with respect is gonna give you a bad time, I'd encourage you to go watch somebody else. Yes. All it takes for evil to succeed in the world is good people to sit idly by and do nothing about it. Cleansing Novus probably doesn't have a text box here. Let me just precog. It's possible I should wait to precog until I, like, end step Nexus to bait a counterspell. It's actually not, J-Dem. They explicitly called out my feedback on their products as the reason why they don't work with me. Which is honestly kind of worse, right? Like, can you... Like, if it was like, we gotta be hands-off because you're political on stream, like, I'd be like, alright, sure. That's a good corporate line, right? Alright, well, now that I have 2 marches, I'm going to fire off the first one, I think. Remember, this is game 1, so they probably have Kaya's Wrath in their hand, or they definitely have it in their deck. They probably have it in their hand. I have 11, so this makes 8 friends. So if you're the people complaining about MTGA not pausing when you don't have a counter, you can play in full control mode. If you are worried about bluffing, play in full control mode. So I'm not going to just play out the next March of Multitudes willy-nilly, because there's a chance, like, I need it as a win condition, because we are running a little bit low on win cons at this point. One do-over, please. Yeah, I'll just play the land out. If they play a Thought Erasure, I am going to jam it. So I have 5, 6, 7. I have a Cleansing Nova to kill that. Sounds good. Control plus shift, hard locks full control mode in. That's a yikes.
Keep up the pace.
That's gonna be tough. They've only played 1 counter spell so far, so there's probably a lot more in their deck. Probably at least 4 more. I think I'm just gonna march at end of turn, so I need to try and pressure the Teferi out of the game. I have 12 mana total, so I get to make 9 here. Oh, I think I have to do this in response. It's like 6 in one hand, half dozen the other, kind of screwed either way. Doing this beforehand means they can just Kaya's Wrath me. You should pop into the subs Discord, Rebel Lawyer, where we're all talking about it in there last night.
No time for a break.
Justice only really happens in the world when people who aren't impacted by injustice start to fight for it. Super Jivey, thank you for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hey, Zigzol, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate the 2/3 of a year. Thanks for keeping me employed here. There is not, so their spell resolves all at once. There is not an opportunity for me to cast it in between their scry and when they draw. Because that will require the spell to kind of resolve in 2 parts, right? Alright, well maybe if they don't have another counter spell, we can kill the Teferi with the March, but pretty unlikely to win from here. This is the last March of my deck too, right? So game 1, this is my last win con, so probably dead this game, and we'll get to the post-board game where we get Carnage Tyrants in our deck. 5-color bad stuff. Thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah. And whenever people bring up things like the law, I'm like, lots of terrible things were legal once upon a time. Cash and Par, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of people you can chip your Bezo bucks to every month. Thanks for sending them my way.
I concede to a counterspell here because we're dead. I mean, to be fair, like, even if we had a Banefight in our deck, we're still probably dead here, right? Like, they have so many cards in their hand, and we just have nothing going on. We made a value judgment when common law was adopted that it's more important to prevent the innocent from being convicted than it is for the guilty to be convicted. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But a lot of people don't understand that, right? They think trials prove innocent or guilt, and that's not what they do. It's not what they do. Actual factual. Thanks, Eternal Witness. That was a good suggestion. They don't even prove not guilt, really. Right? Like, you still do the thing. Or is there a different word for that? If you did the thing but get proven not guilty, what's the word? They don't prove innocence. Innocence is what you're looking for. You're not innocent if you're found not guilty. There you go. That's the one. That's the vernacular. Gigo, thanks for the 50 months. I appreciate it. Even if I didn't know people, I'd encourage you to look up what the chances are that an accusation like that is false, and then do the simple computation of what the odds are of multiple accusations like that are false. The chances of one being false are low. The chances of multiple being false are, like, astronomical. Cleverly left my search for Azcanta on top of my deck here, drawing the land so that way they couldn't take it with Thought Erasure. It is exposed to Mortify, but, you know, Mortifies happen. Alright, I've got the Ixalan's binding that they know about, so I assume the fact that they didn't take the Ixalan's binding means they have a Mortify here. Let's not be negative about other content creators. It's okay. I assume you're saying that in response to, like, defending me and what he's been saying on Twitter, but, like, let's just not be needlessly negative towards other content creators. It plays the binding that they know about. I guess I take Carnage Tyrant here. What are we at? What are we at? 7? This flips regardless. I'm gonna leave that on top. Transform this. Princess Silver, if you type /user in chat, you can see a user's chat history. It's a good note for all the mods. It's a new feature Twitch added recently. If you type /user and then the username, you'll get a history of someone's thing. If you're ever wondering, this person says they were unjustly banned. It's a very new feature and it's A+. Because, like, we ban pretty liberally on this channel, which means I also unban pretty liberally. But now it's great. I can actually go back and be like, oh, wait, this person's actually just a wanker. No need to unban them. Can we say wanker on Twitch? You can swear on Twitch. I don't even usually swear, but I'm confident wanker is not a swear, okay? Confident in wanker not being a swear. Negate me, baby. Stroked. All right, sure.
Thanks, 5-color bad stuff. Folks like you are the ones that keep me here, so... That's why we've got the sponsored by you in the title. I think I'm just working on hitting land drops for now still. I feel like we're in an okay spot. It's forward slash username. That's a backslash, chat. Everybody, like several people put backslashes in chat. It's forward slash. So I grabbed the negate here in case they find Mortify, because it's pretty important I keep this Ixalan binding on the table. They only know one slash. Rude. I'm a Windows person, my slashes go the other way. Dirty, dirty Windows users. Gosh, where are my amulets at, chat? Sorry, we got there, chat. We did it. Hooray. I think I'm just passing here and planning to like end step Nexus. Let's just do it now in response to this. Rude. Hey, Crimson Eye, thanks for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Negate, rude. Yep. Flip it. For 2 Crisis, probably another expansion explosion and like play the last Gatebreaker Ram in the main. It's probably reasonable. So I'm gonna upkeep, cast this Nexus of Fate with the Primal Wellspring.
I know my responsibility. Let's skip to the good part.
Rude. Now, I think marching for 4 tokens is kind of narrow. You're just supposed to take the negate there. So I've been in Rakdos in the current state. There's a Rakdos aggro deck on my website that I like a good bit. It's close to mono red burn splashing black. Thanks, old regime. It's life's too short to lose your stuff over things you can't control.
Hold that thought.
So the amulet cost reduction with something like March basically just gives you a free X.
Oh, mono counter spells. They're like getting to activate this twice a turn. We're probably dead. Excellent. Hey, Teacup, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Thanks for the Bezo bucks. Yep. Alright, do you have a Kaya's Wrath? They already played one Kaya's Wrath, right? There are many are in their deck.
We need to move quickly.
I think the second ego might actually kill us here. If they have a Kaya's Wrath, we're out of win conditions, right? Hey, Gundam, thanks for sub gifty there. I appreciate it. Yep, good games, opponent. Hey, Bub Jinx, thanks for 12 months. Let's go ahead and give you a sword along with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around here. We played a Team of Reclamation deck today. It was kind of medium. I don't know. So, like, I understand that, like, a bunch of people on different various Magic boards, like, complain about these Nexus decks a lot. But I honestly just don't think these decks are that good. We've played a lot of, and maybe they're good in best of one. They could be asterisk, they might be good in best of one. But, like, playing a lot of these decks and these different iterations in best of 3, it really feels like they just leave a lot to be desired. I feel like the power level of what they're doing, especially post-board in these matchups, just, like, isn't fantastic a lot of the time, so... I don't know that I really have specific feedback. I just feel like post-board I need a better plan, and, like, Carnage Tyrant wasn't good enough there in the control matchup. Alright, so what are we doing? We're going to some black-white angels here next. It's a little bit more controlling build of black-white angels. I might do some surgery here before we start. Bump Teamer Crisis. Sounds good, Gundam. I'm not sure offhand, darling dearest. You might want to try the Teamer build I posted. Having Lava Coil probably helps that matchup a lot. Hey, what's going on, Bolas? This build has some strange choices in it, and like this card is not playable. It's real bad. I don't mind the Shalai and the Angel of Grace and the Lyra. I don't mind playing a bunch of angels. Maybe it's just the Kayas that are bad to start. We'll start by cutting those. Not playing Tecatli on our guard seems like a huge punt. I think that's actually one of the big pulls to playing this archetype. Getting to play 4 Tecatli is great. Only 2 Mortifies in the 75 too. That's weird. I guess they're playing some Vraska's Contempts. Alright. Some small amount of surgery. The curve is kind of high. I agree with that.